Well, you ended up leaving the Sparks and you became the assistant coach for the Denver Nuggets. The head coach gets fired, so you become the interim coach. But then George Karl comes in and takes your job. How was that whole experience?
That was a weird part in my life. As I was a coach, the Coach Bizdelic was following me around with the Sparks, and Kiki Vandeweghe was the general manager in Denver. So I guess Kiki wanted to bring my aspect of the defensive knowledge to the game. So when I got that job, that's what I was supposed to be, is just a defensive person. So I went there, and it was me, Adrian Dantley, Scott Brooks, three former NBA players, and here with a good team. And I mean, they had Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, Marcus Camby. I mean, we had Earl Boykins, Andre. We had a very good basketball team. Things didn't go that way. He got out of it. And I told Kiki at the time, I said, Kiki, I don't really, he said, Coop, you'll never be a head coach if you don't take this interim job. So it's kind of like, not necessarily forced on me, but it was kind of like making a statement. So, okay, sure. So I go there, about 17 games, I think, and George Karl comes in, and we go 5 or 6 games, and right before the All-Star break. And then he comes in and he tells me, he says, Coop, you know what, I'm going to take you off the bench, and I don't want you around the players, but I want you can be in the front office up there. I looked at him, I said, Coach Karl, I came here as a coach. I done all that other stuff. That's not what I'm about. So thank you for the opportunity. And then I just got up and walked out. And then I told Kiki, and Kiki was like, well, okay, Coop, just go back to LA then. So I go back to LA, and I'm 18 steps from my mailbox, I'm still getting a check from the Nuggets. So it wasn't that bad of a job. But again, when some doors open for me, my higher power makes others open up. And that's when I ended up with the Atlanta Dream back into the WNBA or USC, one of the two.
Well, first, you went back to the Sparks.
Yeah, went back to the Sparks. Left that, went to USC, and then I think went to the Dream. So basketball has been lifeline for me. Yeah, basketball has been good.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you were I just want to point out when you were the Albuquerque Thunderbirds, was the D League at the time.
Yeah.
You won
Championship there.
a championship there, which means that you're the first person to win a championship with the NBA, WNBA, and the D League.
Yep. That was fun because our home teams were the Utah Jazz, Cleveland Cavaliers, and I believe the Houston Rockets. And in Albuquerque, you're getting for us at the time, it was the G League. I think, no, it's the D League, and now it's the G League.
Yeah.
Is, players are just a step away, or there's a little flaw in their games. And I had a guy named Chuck Hayes on my team there, and I had Tony Bland. I had a big guy named Andreas Gleniadakis from Greece, guys that had been in the NBA for a couple of games. So now this was kind of like their second chance to get in there. So it was all about developing, helping players become a little bit better, working on their weaknesses to be their strength. And next thing I knew, we were playing against the Dallas, the Dallas Fort Worth team. And they had brought in 4 players from the Dallas Mavericks to play in that specific game. And our guys put it together. We were running NBA stuff, and we fooled around and won the championship and beat them on their home court. And Chuck Hayes, right after that game, got a call-up. And he went to Houston and signed a big contract. So being down there was, I think it was a godsend because it gave me a chance to really hone on my guys at another level. And to win a championship, got that.
Yeah.
And then...
then by 2009, like you said, you came to USC, where you're the head coach for the women's basketball team there. Then you went to Atlanta, where you coached the Dream in the WNBA from 2014 to 2017. And then in 2018, you coached the BIG3.
Ice Cube League.
League.
That was fun. I kept wondering how he was going to make that entertaining. And the Big Three is half court. Fun part about it is you don't have to run to the other end. The bad part about it is sometimes you can run to the other end to hide. You know, if you're not a good defensive player or offensive player, everything happens on one half. So, got paired up. I ended up coaching Three's company, which was Allen Iverson's team, and Allen had Allen Iverson, Baron Davis, a couple of other players, Maxiel, and then. Now our team has been bought by Miami 305, and now I coach Michael Beasley, former player for Pat Riley in Dallas, in Miami. Mario Chalmers, who won a championship in Miami. Guy named Reggie Evans, who played for Sacramento and a couple of NBA teams. Then I have a kid named Sean Williams, and then we had Lance Stevenson, who played with the Indiana team and a couple of other teams. So solid team. This past year was so good. We pulled it together. We almost won the year before, but I lost to one of my rivals, Gary Payton. I don't like losing to him, but you know what? Payton is a competitor at every level, and he always has his teams prepared. And I guess the guys were saying, Cooper, I can give you a little bit of payback because we were playing Dr. J's team. So we were able to beat them, the triplets, Chicago triplets, and it'll never erase the dunk he did on me, but it gives me a little bit of pleasure to say I dunked on the dock or I got this win to have my 9 rings.